Harry Kane scored twice, Jude Bellingham added another, and Marcus Rashford struck late to seal it beyond doubt. England defeated Croatia 4-2 in one of the most entertaining World Cup openers in recent memory. It felt like a throwback to 2018, when these two nations met in that unforgettable World Cup semi-final, a match still remembered by England fans with a mix of pride and heartbreak. But despite the six-goal thriller, the moment dominating the conversation this morning had nothing to do with the goals. It was the boos at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. Just 22 minutes into the first half, the match was briefly stopped. Players drifted toward the sidelines, coaches stepped onto the pitch to deliver tactical instructions, and the rhythm of the game suddenly disappeared. From the stands, thousands of England and Croatia supporters, who had waited years for this fixture, spent significant money, and built their entire summer around this night, responded with loud, unmistakable boos that echoed through the stadium and were clearly picked up by broadcast microphones. The reason? FIFA's mandatory hydration break. For the first time this tournament, fans made their feelings impossible to ignore. What made the reaction even more controversial was the setting itself. AT&T Stadium's retractable roof was closed, and the air conditioning was fully operational. The official justification for hydration breaks, extreme heat conditions, did not visibly apply inside the controlled environment. Fans noticed immediately, and frustration spread online within minutes. One supporter summed it up bluntly: "Roof closed, air conditioners on, so why are they taking a hydration break? I hate this American World Cup." That reaction captures something bigger than just a stoppage in play. It highlights a growing tension between FIFA's vision for this expanded tournament and the reality fans are experiencing on the ground. When FIFA secured the rights to bring the World Cup back to North America, it promised the biggest edition in history: 48 teams, 104 matches, and record-breaking global revenue projections. But as this tournament unfolds, questions are already being raised about whether the experience matches the promise. The biggest, the best, the most accessible, and the most spectacular World Cup the sport has ever produced. That was the promise. But just 1 week into the tournament, fans are not talking about FIFA's carefully scripted vision. They are talking about the moments FIFA did not script. The introduction of hydration breaks was built on a defensible, scientific concern. Researchers at Queen's University Belfast warned FIFA more than a year before the tournament that wet bulb globe temperature readings in several US host cities could reach dangerous levels, conditions that even forced Qatar to shift its World Cup to winter. This is not speculation. It is a genuine player safety issue. Heat exhaustion and collapse are real risks, and no serious voice in football is arguing that player welfare should be ignored. However, the controversy begins with perception. Ian Wright, a former professional footballer and respected broadcaster, described the breaks as another way of getting adverts into the game from an American point of view. While acknowledging FIFA's player welfare justification, he questioned the underlying intent and how it is being implemented. Whether or not one agrees with that assessment, the optics are difficult to ignore. FIFA's US broadcast partners are filling those 3-minute windows with advertisements. Matches are effectively segmented into 4 quarters instead of 2 halves, fundamentally altering football's traditional rhythm. This structural change arrives alongside another historic first: a full halftime entertainment show at the World Cup final, further expanding the commercial footprint of the tournament. Notably, the approach is not uniform worldwide. In the United Kingdom, the BBC does not run advertisements during breaks and instead continues showing live stadium footage. ITV even considered selling ad space but ultimately decided against it after internal debate. Still, the structural decision rests with FIFA, and the commercial potential was clearly understood from the beginning. For some viewers, however, there is a practical upside: a chance to step away, grab a drink, or take a break without missing live action. Yet this convenience raises a deeper question: does the policy make sense when applied equally to closed, air-conditioned stadiums and open-air venues facing extreme heat? The debate, clearly, is far from over. Those are not the same situation, and treating them as if they are is exactly what fans in Dallas were reacting to when they booed during the hydration break. But this moment in Dallas is not an isolated incident. It connects to something much bigger that has been building since before the tournament even began. The hydration break controversy is only one piece of a wider pattern of decisions that fans and teams are now questioning. And interestingly, the jersey controversies sit right alongside it. Just days before the tournament kicked off, FIFA ordered Egypt to remove 7 stars from its national team shirt. Each star represented an Africa Cup of Nations title, 7 championships across 6 decades. That makes Egypt one of the most successful national teams in African football history, with more continental titles than any other nation on the continent. However, FIFA's reasoning was technical and consistent with its regulations. Under FIFA rules, stars displayed above a national crest are reserved exclusively for FIFA World Cup victories. Since Egypt has never won a World Cup, the 7 stars were deemed non-compliant. As a result, the design had to be changed just days before kickoff, forcing manufacturer Puma to rapidly adjust kits already in production. Around the same time, another controversy emerged, this time involving Haiti. Haiti's national team jersey was flagged by FIFA for violating rules regarding political imagery. The original design, created by manufacturer CIA, featured artwork referencing the Battle of Vertières in 1803, a defining moment in the Haitian Revolution. That battle led to Haiti becoming the first nation in history to achieve independence through a successful slave uprising. The manufacturer described the design as a tribute to national heritage, not a political statement. FIFA, however, disagreed, and the jersey was withdrawn. Notably, Haiti's players had already worn it in a warm-up match against Peru, and it had quickly become one of the most talked-about kits leading into the tournament, only to be banned before appearing in a competitive match. 2 separate rulings. 2 different justifications. Both technically aligned with FIFA's written regulations, yet both delivered within the same narrow pre-tournament window, adding to growing frustration about how footballing identity is being interpreted and controlled on the sport's biggest stage. None of these incidents, the boos in Dallas, the removal of Egypt's stars, or the banning of Haiti's jersey, are catastrophic on their own. The tournament has not collapsed. In fact, the football itself has been outstanding. England and Croatia delivered a genuine classic. Lionel Messi equaled an all-time scoring record in his opening match. Norway marked their return to the World Cup with a statement victory. On the pitch, there has been no shortage of brilliance. But the greatest World Cup ever staged was never going to be judged by goals alone. 1 week in, the most talked about moments are increasingly the ones where fans, pundits, and even entire footballing nations feel that decisions are being made about their experience, their traditions, and their identity, often without them in the room. These decisions may be justified on paper. They may follow regulations. But in practice, they land very differently with the people watching. A boo inside a closed-roof stadium in Dallas is a small moment in isolation. But it is the kind of small moment that accumulates. It joins a growing list that includes ticket pricing complaints, visa complications for traveling supporters, and now deeper questions about who gets to define national symbols, whether that's a star on a crest, a jersey design, or even how a moment of history is represented on the world stage. So the question becomes bigger than just one match or one policy. A hydration breaks a genuine and necessary safety measure, a commercial intrusion into the rhythm of football, or a bit of both depending on the venue. And did the Egypt and Haiti jersey rulings represent FIFA simply enforcing consistent global rules, or a system that needed more flexibility when dealing with symbols that carry deep national meaning? I'd be genuinely interested to hear your take. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you found this analysis useful, a like really helps more than you might think. Subscribe if you want more in-depth football storytelling all the way through to the final in July.